Welcome to this explainer. Today we're taking a fascinating journey back in time, straight into the raw, mechanical heart of early 8-bit computers like the legendary Commodore 64. We're going to look right past all the modern conveniences of software and crack open the very logic of the silicon itself. So get ready, because we're stripping away the user interface and getting right down to the bare metal.
But before we really get into it, I want to pose a fundamental mystery to you. It's a puzzle that retro programmers had to solve, well, every single day. If a computer processor physically lacks the circuitry, meaning it fundamentally does not know how to multiply or divide, how on earth does it do math? I mean, think about that for a second. Every single game you played back then, every calculation the machine made was happening on a chip that couldn't natively multiply two numbers together.
You know, we're all so used to the high-level illusion of modern computing. Today, you just type something like print 100 divided by 5 and boom, the answer appears effortlessly. But that's just an illusion. The bare metal reality of early programming is a beautifully complex dance of manipulating electrons, precise memory addresses, and raw logic. Okay, let's actually dive into this bare metal reality.
To really understand the challenge here, let's consider the famous MOS 6510 CPU. This little chip was the brain of the Commodore 64, and here is the shocking truth. Natively, this processor only understands two mathematical operations. It can add using a command called ADC, and it can subtract using a command called SBC. That is literally it. The physical silicon for multiplying and dividing is entirely missing. If you wanted to do higher math, you had to build it from scratch using only the most basic atomic system movements.
So how did they survive? Well, they had to rely on a couple of really fundamental tools. For complete beginners, it actually helps to not think of these as abstract math equations at all, but rather as physical, mechanical movements of data inside the chip. Our two main survival tools are ASL and SBC. ASL stands for arithmetic shift left. It physically slides the ones and zeros of our binary numbers exactly one space to the left. Think about standard decimal numbers for a second. If you slide the number 5 one space left and add a 0, it becomes 50, right? You've effectively multiplied it by 10. In binary, sliding the number left magically multiplies it by its base, which is 2. And then we have SBC, or subtract with carry, which simply subtracts one binary value from another.
But here's the catch. When you physically slide bits to the left inside a tiny 8-bit register, you eventually run out of room. The bit on the far left gets pushed right off the edge. That's exactly where the carry flag, or C bit, comes in. You can think of it like a physical conveyor belt or an overflow catcher at the end of the line. When a shift operation pushes a bit out of bounds, the C bit catches it safely in a tiny little box so it isn't lost, which allows the processor to handle numbers way larger than its standard 8-bit capacity.
All right, we've got our tools. Now let's slow things down a bit, take a deep breath, and enter the boss fight. We're going to walk step by step through how a programmer forces a machine that can only add, subtract, and shift, to figure out how to divide 100 by 5.
The absolute secret weapon here is what's known as the shift and subtract algorithm. If you remember elementary school long division, where you shift digits over one by one and try to subtract them on paper, well, this is exactly what the computer is doing in binary. It's a simple, continuous loop that we're going to run through exactly 8 times. The processor gradually builds the final answer, the quotient, by pushing the number we are dividing to the left and repeatedly asking one single simple question: can I subtract the divisor right now?
So, here is phase A of our calculation. We take our binary representation of 100, which is our dividend, and we physically push those bits leftwards into a temporary testing area using that ASL tool we talked about. We're basically prepping the number to see if our divisor, which is 5, can fit inside of it. Think of it just like pulling down the next digit in long division to see if your number fits.
Once those bits are shifted, the processor attempts step 1, subtraction. It tries to subtract the binary 5 from that new, shifted chunk of bits using the SBC tool. Step 2 is comparing the values. If the chunk of bits we're testing is still smaller than 5, well, the subtraction simply fails. The divisor is just too large to fit. Think about it. If we try to subtract 5 from 2, the math doesn't work out without going negative, so the machine immediately knows it's the failure.
Now, notice how the algorithm forms the quotient, which is the final answer. The processor makes a decision based entirely on the failure or success of that subtraction attempt, and it logs the result. If the subtraction failed because the divisor was too big, it writes a 0 to our final answer. But if the subtraction succeeds, meaning the 5 actually did fit, it logs a 1 to our final answer and keeps that subtracted result for the next round. It's a beautifully simple binary choice: yes or no, 1 or 0.
This whole process brilliantly illustrates the entire engine at work. Because it's an 8-bit system, the processor just loops this exact routine. It shifts, it attempts subtraction, and it logs a bit. Then it loops right back. It shifts again, subtracts again, logs another bit. It performs this exact mechanical loop exactly 8 times. By the end of those 8 iterations, those individual ones and zeros it logged have steadily built a brand new binary sequence, 00010100. And if you translate that sequence back into our standard decimal numbers, you get exactly 20. 100 divided by 5 equals 20. The machine did it.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is why? Why on earth would a programmer subject themselves to writing manual division algorithms when programming languages like BASIC could just do it in one line? The answer is pure, unadulterated performance. Software like BASIC was slow, really bloated. By writing these routines manually in assembly language, programmers gained extreme speed and absolute complete hardware control. This grassroots optimization was the literal secret to squeezing those fast, smooth graphics and incredible games out of these highly limited 8-bit machines.
Which really brings us to the true charm of the machine. Building math from scratch wasn't just some tedious chore, it was an art form. It provided total control, maximum optimization, and it forced a really deep, intimate understanding of processor logic. It just goes to show that with nothing more than the ability to slide bits left and subtract, human ingenuity can build incredibly complex mathematics right from the ground up. So the next time you effortlessly divide something on your smartphone, ask yourself, if you stripped away all the modern software layers, could you still do the math on the bare metal? Thank you so much for exploring this with me today. Keep learning and stay curious.
Had a bezel keyboard, heavy as a door, 64K of magic, and I still wanted more. I typed in my command line, feeling like a king. Load star, comma, 8, comma, 1, and prayed it loads the thing. The screen was blue, the cursor bright, the tape was screaming through the night. Commodore 64, you're my pixel superstar, with your chunky little graphics and your SID chip from afar. Commodore 60, you were slow but never poor. You made us wait forever, then we came back for more. My joystick had one button. My joystick, one button, but I pressed it like a pro. Jumping over pixels in a world of green and gold. The sprites were square and funny, the music had that bite. The music had that bite. Every tiny loading screen became a Friday night. The floppy clicked, the tape would cry, but every crash was worth a try. Commodore 64, you're my pixel superstar, with your chunky little graphics and your SID chip from afar. Commodore 60, you were slow but never poor. You made us wait forever, then we came back for more. No Wi-Fi, no updates, no cloud account to sign. Just cables, keys, and patience, and a loading bar divine. No touchscreen, no drama. No battery, no drama, no battery at 1. Just plug it in and type away, that's how we had our fun. Commodore 64, you're my pixel superstar, with your chunky little graphics and your SID chip from afar. Commodore 60, you were slow but never poor. You made us wait forever, then we came back for more. So boot it up, don't shut the door. We're dancing with the Commodore 64K, but dreams galore. Long live the Commodore 64. Had a bezel keyboard, heavy as a door. 64K of magic, and I still wanted more. I typed in my command line, feeling like a king. Load star, comma, 8, comma, 1, and prayed it loads the thing. The screen was blue, the cursor bright, the tape was screaming through the night. Commodore 64.